All this should be review, and if it's not, let me know and I'll slow down. What's the relation? Do you guys remember? Well, that's what I think. Yeah, so what's the relation? Any set of ordered pairs. Yeah, any set of ordered pairs. Any set of ordered pairs is a relation. You have a whole bunch of points, x, y, x, y, x, y, x, y, x, y, and that's it. It doesn't matter how many points you have. Any set of ordered pairs is a relation. And then what's a function? Yeah, you're right, where x's don't repeat. You can also say passes vertical line test. Et cetera, et cetera. There's a whole bunch. And the whole reason for that, guys, it's because whenever you input something into some type of machine or whatnot, you want to have a specific output. You don't want to have different outputs all the time. So that's the whole reason with x's don't repeat. So here we go. We have some relations for example 1, and we just want to know if it's a function or not. That's it. So example 1, 2, 4, 3, 5, 4, 8, negative 1, 7, 2, 10. Is it a function? No. Why not? Yeah, x's repeat. Letter B. Yeah, every x has a y. And it's okay if one of those y's has two x's going toward it. Letter C. No. See, x's repeat. Letter D. Yeah, that looks like a parabola. Passes vertical line test. So you can see that you have a y value with two different x values. So it's okay for the x value to aim at a y value more than once. Cool or not cool? All right, and then I write, what does it mean to be a one-to-one function? So let's look at this parabola that we just did, letter D. Is letter D a one-to-one function? Do you guys remember what one-to-one means? Every x has a unique y, every y has a unique x. So letter D is not a one-to-one function because it does not pass the horizontal line test. Do you guys remember that?
A one-to-one function would only be like a linear equation.
A linear equation is 101. So is a cubic. Really, any odd function is probably going to be 101. So if you want like a definition, what's a one-to-one function? It passes both what?
Vertical and horizontal line test.
Perfect.
Okay.
And that's it. Now don't make it about definitions. Make sure you know why it is one-to-one. It's in the name, one-to-one. Every x has a unique y. Every y has a unique x. So there is no repeating of anything, period. That makes sense to you guys? So passes horizontal and vertical line tests. All right, and then we get to these multiple choice ones. I stole these from Delty, so I probably should have given them credit here. I'll put the word Delty. It stands for Delta Math. So it's example 2A says, determine the relation from set A to set B. These are called elements, by the way. So set A has these elements, set B has these elements. So they're just, stuff in there. So you can call set A like a domain and set B like a range. And it says, is it one-to-one and whether it is onto. So onto just means that every single element of set B is aimed to. So it is onto. Every single element is being used. And let's see, is it a function? Yeah, it looks like every single one of these has something coming out. So it's a function, and it is onto, and it is also one-to-one. Where are you? A one-to-one function. There we go. Yeah, a function is both one-to-one and onto. It's one-to-one because none of the y's repeat in set B. Does that make sense, guys? All right, so look at, again, it's the same question over and over, so there's no reason to read the example again. So I'm looking at set B. It is onto. Every single element is being used. It is not one-to-one because I see that number 4 has several arrows going onto it. So I'm going to put not 1 to 1. But set A, which is like a domain, has 1 coming out of all of it. So is it a function? Yes, it's a function. It is onto, but not 1 to 1. Does it say? Is there anyone that says that? Onto function, but not 1 to 1. Yep. See, simple, guys. Let's go to C. I see there's an element of B that is not being used, so this is not onto. Cool or not cool? A, B, C. Yep, 1 comes out of all of them, and it goes into one specific element of set B. So this is definitely a function. It is 1 to 1, but it is not onto. So which one is that? There it is. And then example 3, determine whether the following graph represents a function. Really, we should have a discussion on that. But knowing what you know, does it pass your vertical line test? No. So it is not a function. I'm sorry, what? I would hole punch them and put them in a binder. But yeah, you can staple them if you want. I mean, I hope you guys don't throw them in the trash can. That's what almost all my notes are entirely my own. I did steal these 3 from Delty. So, but besides those 3, the rest is, everything else I made up. All right, so here we go. Function notation, I think you guys know that this stands for f of x. I've had kids in the past tell me that means f times x. It does not, guys. It just means you have some function, they're calling it f, and it's with respect to the letter x. Why do they start with f? Probably because the word function starts with f. And then they just go down the alphabet, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, keep on going. So it's very rare to see a function that says a of x, b of x, but I wouldn't call it uncalled for. That's fine. But yeah, they just started f because of the word function. Cool? So f of 3 equals 5. Make sure you know that just means a point, guys. That means when the x-coordinate is 3, the y-coordinate is 5, and I think everyone knows that. So yeah, pretty basic. I don't see any issues there. So I have a function, and they're telling me that this function behaves like 2x squared minus 3x, and it tells me evaluate the following function. So if you see f of 4, all that means is wherever you have an x, you're just going to type in a 4. 2 times 4 squared minus 3 times 4. And we're not insulting your intelligence. You can actually leave it like that on the calculus AP exam, but we're not, I tell my kids to just keep going. Let's see, without a calculator, can we do this? 4 squared is 16, so I guess we'll do this first. And then 2 times 16 is 32, and then I'm going to subtract 12, 32, 22, 20. So if I didn't make any mistakes, it looks like the answer is 20. How do we feel, guys? And now letter B says f of x plus f of 2. So I write what f of x is. What is f of x? 2x squared minus 3x. If you want to put parentheses around that, you can, but I don't really see a real reason to. Then plus, and then f of 2, so 2 times 2 squared minus 3 times 2. And I'll zoom in, guys, so you guys can see. I just wanted to see the function. And then we just simplify, right? So 2x squared minus 3x plus 2 squared is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Minus 3 times 2 is 6. And then finally, 2x squared minus 3x plus 2. Little happy face. Oh, we got some haters. Don't like happy faces. F of 2x. It's pretty basic, guys. Wherever there's an x, you're going to type in the 2x. So we're going to write 2 parenthesis 2x close it squared minus 3 times parenthesis 2x. And then don't leave it like that. Go ahead and expand it, guys. So let's see. 2 times parenthesis 2x squared. That's your law of exponents. So that's going to be a 4x squared minus 6x. And then 2 times 4, that's just 8x squared. And I'll slow down. It is too easy for you guys. I'm not trying to insult anyone. The first week is just review, and then after the review, we'll get started with real Precal. All right, f of h plus 2. Oh, did I go too fast? All right. Sorry. I'll slow down. You guys got to tell me when I go too fast, guys. Sometimes I can read faces. I can tell when the whole class is lost because you guys will look at me like this. But I'm not seeing that right now. I see like half of you guys are okay, and then the other half is like, you're giving me the look of too fast. Not confused, but too fast. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. So this one says f of h plus 2, guys. So remember that I have a function with respect to x. So wherever you see an x, you're going to type in h plus 2. That's all. So 2x squared minus 3x. Let me write. So I'm going to write 2 parenthesis h plus 2 squared minus 3 h plus 2. And now here comes your algebra. I hope that we can do this fast. 2 parenthesis h times h is h squared. H times 2 is 2h, but you're going to have 2 of those. So 4h. And 2 times 2 is 4. Can we do that fast or no? Okay, I see some of y'all like, what? Okay. So look at this in blue there. That h plus 2 squared, this is a side note. That h plus 2 squared means h plus 2 times h plus 2. And you don't have to write side notes, guys, or you can just take this in, just listen. H times h, that's h squared. H times 2, that's 2h. But see how I told you you're going to have 2 of those, because then you got another one right there. And then 2 times 2, that's 4. So 2h plus 2h, that's your 4h. And then that 4 there. Do you see how we did it? Okay. And then you still got this 3 here, guys. Minus 3h minus 6. And then you just distribute the 2. 2h squared plus 8h plus 8 minus 3h minus 6. And finally, you just combine like terms. 2h squared plus 5h plus 2. How do we feel, guys? Okay. We might scare you guys in the next page, but we'll see. We'll try not to. Is there any questions so far? Because I can't read minds. All right. Letter E. This says f of negative x. Just type in that negative x into your expression, guys. So 2 negative x squared minus 3 times negative x. Negative times a negative is a 2x squared plus 3x. And that's it. Letter F. Notice that I have a negative on the outside there, so you can put like a bracket right there if you want. Negative. And then I'm just going to type my expression for f of x. 2x squared minus 3x. 2x squared minus 3x. And then just distribute your negative like so. And I'm not insulting your intelligence. It really is that simple, guys. Negative 2x squared plus 3x. So you just, that's it. All right, I'm going to need your A game starting now. So I'm going to go slow for G, H, and then the next page. I mean, H is pretty simple. I guess I should have put H first, but for G. So G has two variables inside the expression, x plus H. So everywhere I have an x, I'm going to type in x plus H. So I have, 2 parentheses, x plus H, close it, squared. And then was it minus 3 or something? Okay. Minus 3 parentheses, x plus H. I'm going to zoom in. Is everyone okay with what I wrote? Okay. Next. 2 parentheses, x times x is x squared plus x times h is xh, but you're going to have how many of those?
2xh.
So 2xh plus h times h, h squared. Close it, minus 3x minus 3h. The most common mistake is you forget to distribute that negative. I'm going to distribute the 2. Don't worry, guys, we're almost done. 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h. Nothing cancels out. Nothing combines. Leave it alone right there. We're okay so far? Okay. So letter G is the one that we needed your A game. Letter H is a simple one again. This just means 3 times your function f of x, which was 2x squared minus 3x, I believe, right? Or no?
Yes.
Yeah. And we just distribute 6x squared minus 9x. All right. So here we go. Let's see if your algebra is what we really need. Now, it's very easy to become a robot, guys. This is called the difference of quotients. You've seen it before. Where have you seen it before? What does it look like to you? You've seen it before, guys. Where? It doesn't look familiar to anyone? Never? You've never come across it? You have. You have come across it.
What's it called? The one that solved, like, I don't know,
Slope.
slope. Oh my god.
Guys, this is a fancy way of writing instantaneous slope. When you took Algebra 1, they told you that slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Yes or no? Well, if I tell you that I have a function, x comma f of x, and I have another function, and I'm going to call it x plus h comma f of x plus h, and you don't have to write this down, just listen, guys, so you can observe. If I told you that I have 2 points or 2 ordered pairs like that, well, look, your y2, f of x plus h, minus f of x, y1, all over x plus h minus x. Look what happens in the bottom. The x's cancel out, and you just get f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So these formulas come from somewhere. They just don't magically appear. So I don't want you guys to become robots. You're going to see this formula probably in physics when you're finding an instantaneous velocity. I don't know if you guys even can calculate I'm not telling you guys anything, I promise. In physics, you probably solve for average velocity, but I don't know if you calculate instantaneous velocity in physics, because that might require calculus or it might require heavy math. Have we have anyone here who's already taken physics? No? Okay. So you're taking physics now? So you're taking physics, so you'll see. All right, so here we go. They want us to, this is called, what is this called? Difference of quotients. It's called, Chavez, why is it called difference of quotients? Anything that's division is a quotient, and it's called difference because you see a minus there. Cool? Don't freak out. Do you already have, I did this on purpose by design, look at what my f of x is. Do I already have f of x plus h? Did I calculate that earlier? Remember when I told you guys that I needed your A game? Look, it's right there. Isn't this f of x plus h? Isn't that f of x plus h right there? Yeah. So here we go. I'm going to write, do you guys want me to color code it for good notes? All right. F of x plus h minus f of x all over h equals, so for good notes, I wrote the f of x plus h in blue. I'm going to zoom out, guys, temporarily just so I can see what I wrote up there. So here we go. And don't worry, I'm going to zoom in a little bit. 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h minus, parenthesis, write your f of x, and now I'm going to zoom in. 2x squared minus 3x. All this is over h. Okay, there it is, guys. Everything in blue is your f of x plus h. If you have colored pencils for good notes, if you want to go that route, you don't need to. All right, are we okay so far? Here we go. I'm going to distribute this negative like so. So now I'm not writing it in blue anymore. 2x squared plus 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3x minus 3h minus 2x squared plus 3x. All this is over h. If you did it correctly, the last two terms, or whatever terms you have for your f of x, should always cancel. If you did it correctly. Let's see. Does that negative 2x squared cancel? Or actually, I shouldn't say the word cancel. Does it zero out in the numerator? Yeah, I have a positive one over here. 2x squared zeroes out with negative 2x squared. Do you guys see that? Yes. All right, next. Does that positive 3x zero out with the negative 3x?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, you can rewrite this. And here we go. And I'm going to see if I can make it a little bigger here so everyone can see. 4xh plus 2h squared minus 3h all over h. So catch up to there. I notice that all three terms in the numerator, that's what you call the 4xh, that's a term, right? Term. I notice that all three terms in the numerator have what? An h. So can I factor out an h? Yes. Now, usually, mathematicians don't show this. They just cancel out the h. But I don't want you to be robots. So here it is. I'm factoring out the h. 4x plus 2 minus 3. Nope. 2h. Because it says h squared, guys. Are we still okay? All this is over h. What can I cancel out? One of these h's. My final answer. 4x plus 2h minus 3. And then we'll when we get to calculus, we'll worry about what that h means. But for now, that's my solution to that expression. If you show this to your junior high friends, will they freak out? They won't freak out. Are you guys freaking out?
I don't have any friends in junior high.
Okay, your brother and sister. If you show this to your brother and sisters. Yeah, because it probably would be weird for you guys to have junior high friends.
I don't have anybody. I don't have siblings.
Oh, sorry, miss. I have two little sisters, and they were pretty bad. I was the only boy. We had one restroom. I grew up kind of poor. Yeah, I would say I grew up poor. I had one restroom, and I lived with my grandma, my two little sisters, my tia from time to time, and my mom occasionally. And I was the only boy. And since we only had one restroom, it was bad. Well, for me it was bad, right? Because I could never use it. But that's fine. Okay, you guys ready? Now we're going to test your algebra skills. We're doing the same thing, but we're going to test your algebra skills and see how you do with this one. And we're going to go slow. You guys ready? Well, I'll stop saying, are you guys ready? So here we go. This is my f of x. I need an f of x plus h. So what I do is, I write here on the side, f of x plus h is equal to 1 over x plus h. And you can write a parenthesis if you want, but for what? There's nothing in front of it. Oh, yeah, but I wrote x plus h over here. So, oh, because I need, yeah, I need an f of x plus h. No, you're good, you're good. All right, so here we go. Now, I'm going to do the difference of quotients. I'm going to do this. So I'm going to write f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. I'm going to go slow, guys. F of x plus h, we just said, was 1 over x plus h plus 7 minus, and f of x is 1 over x plus 7. And all this is over h. Now what, Chavez? You have a fraction within a fraction. Fractionception. I think you guys are too young to know what we're talking about. Have you guys ever seen the movie Inception? No? Yeah, you probably never heard of it. Have you ever heard of that movie?
Yes.
Oh, okay. A dream within a dream. So, fraction within a fraction. I'll stop talking, guys. You can... Oh, man. All right, sorry. All right, here we go. So, how do we do this? You can't subtract those fractions until you have something called a common what? Yeah, a common denominator. So a common denominator in my numerator. No, you're good, miss. Don't worry. There's a safe space. So a common denominator in my numerator, if that makes sense. So I'm going to multiply this right term over here by x plus h plus 7 over x plus h plus 7. And I'm going to multiply this left term over here by x plus 7 over x plus 7. Are we okay so far?
Yes.
All right, when I do that, here's what you're going to get. 1 times x plus 7 is just x plus 7. Let me see, can I write it over here? I'm going to zoom out temporarily, guys, just because I want to take advantage of all this space. X plus 7 over, I'm not going to bother distributing this, I'm just going to leave it like this. And then minus, and then 1 times that is just going to be that, which is x plus h plus 7. X plus h plus 7. And then for conformity, I'm going to write x plus 7, x plus h plus 7. And all this is still over h. Okay, let me zoom in for you guys. So that's what I have now. The denominator and my numerators are the same. So can I combine them? Yes. So here's what I'm going to have. And I'm going to zoom out. Don't worry, guys. I know this is super exciting. X plus 7 minus, parentheses, x plus h plus 7. So put that parenthesis there because that's the most common mistake. There's a mosquito here. Ooh, I caught it. It's right here, guys. Yeah, that's crazy. I should play the lotto. Okay, it looks like this. I am tempted. Well, I better not do it yet. Let's go ahead and distribute the negative. X plus 7 minus x minus h minus 7 over x plus 7, x plus h plus 7. And I want to move the h in the bottom there and put it right here, but I don't know if you guys are going to revolt. Are you guys offended? I'm offended. Side note. Do a side note, guys. If you have A over B divided by C over D, hopefully your Algebra 1 teacher told you keep, change, flip or something. A over B times D over C, so you get AD over BC. Well, what if I told you that D is 1? Then it's like AB over divided by C, right? And that C is like your H. You can just move it right next to the B. So it's like H over 1, keep, change, flip, 1 over H times 1 over H. Do you guys see that? Okay. Haters gotta hate. Hopefully that made sense. Did I explain that well or no?
Yeah.
Okay. If something doesn't make sense, guys, there's no shame. Just ask. All right, here we go. What zeroes out in the numerator? The sevenths, the x's, and here we go. There's a negative h, but there's also an h in the bottom. So can I cancel them?
So -1.
Perfect. Yep. Negative in the front. You can put -1, that's fine. It's just I'm traumatized from a professor. X plus 7, x plus h plus 7, and there it is. You can put -1 in the numerator, but I had a professor who was kind of a prick a little bit. And, once I left his class, I went back to my old habits, but from time to time I think about him. Not in a weird way or anything, just, So there it is. That's my answer. And we're done. How do we feel? All right. So we have an activity. It's really simple. You can work in groups. It's over what we just did right now.